Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Televu.
Today FM rocks in Lotaka. Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in Nasino.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
News tonight, proposed Fiji First applies for registration. Below average rainfall recorded. And Lami Town Council vets objections to proposed development at Waimbola. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The proposed Fiji First Party lodged an application at the Supervisor of Elections Office in Suva this afternoon, complete with about 40,000 signatures. Chanel Sivan was at the Elections Office.
At about 4 o'clock this afternoon, Naya Syed Kayum, who is named as the proposed General Secretary, brought the signatures collected for registration. Minutes later, Vorenge Frank Bainimarama arrived. The application lists Vorenge Frank Bainimarama as proposed leader of the party. Other executives include Dr. Chico Luveni and Tui Madhuwata Ratu Williame Katunivere as two proposed presidents. Former FLP Senator BJ Prasad is listed as proposed vice president along with Vimlesh Chand.
Following receipt of the 40,000 signatures, we will now advertise this, including the application. There is period for objection and then there is reply for petitions. And then eventually we will run this past all the other applications that have been received to see if there are any matches. If there are matches, then we will have to answer for the matches before the parties eventually register.
These signatures were collected over a very short period of time. And I wish to thank all those Fijians who agreed to be the original members for the registration of the proposed Fiji First. These were men and women, young and old, from the towns, from the cities, from rural and maritime areas, and from settlements.
The proposed party also handed in a sum of $5,005 as required under the Political Parties Decree 2013.
903 from the Western Division. We will meet and sit down and discuss with Fijians about how we all, as citizens of the wonderful country, must come together and put Fiji first. And we must come together with sincerity and honesty, with love and affection, without any pretension, to ensure that Fiji continues on its path of progress, success, and opportunities for all Fijians.
The signatures include 2,000 from the Central Division, 1,750 from the Western Division, 1,000 from the Northern Division, and 250 from the Eastern Division.
There really is no need for me to resign now, but after the party has been registered, we've just lodged it in the application today. So when it's registered and we have put together a campaign plan, so when we start to campaign, then we will have to take leave from our current position.
Look at the changes. Look at the changes has been there, the work has been done, and the support from the people, so that has prompted us to be support this Fiji First thing. Well,
the reason I chose is because in the very little time the leader of this party has brought about tremendous changes. There's improvements in all sectors, in the sugar industry, in the infrastructure, in the education system, mainly in the education now.
The registration process will take about 28 days and is followed by registration objection period and the verification of signatures. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The Fiji Labour Party Management Board will discuss the party's leadership in a meeting later this week. Current leader Mahendra Chaudhry was ruled out of contesting the 2014 general elections after he was convicted and sentenced for breaching the Exchange Control Act. FLP President Lavinia Padarath says the party has also been advised that Chaudhry has appealed against his conviction. Defence lawyer Anand Singh confirmed Chaudhry filed an appeal against the conviction in the Fiji Court of Appeal on the 11th of last month. Chaudhry was fined $2 million by the High Court in Suva last Friday. The conviction means Chaudhry is unable to contest the September 17th general elections. The Lami Town Council is now going through letters objecting to the proposed Waimbolan development in Wailakutu Lami. Some residents oppose plans to convert the mangrove area from residential to commercial C, which provides for heavy industry and car parks. Lami Special Administrator Jasper Singh says this is a delicate matter and they need to go through all the responses. After that, their recommendations will be forwarded to the Director of Town and Country Planning next week. Construction company Pacific Building Solutions last year applied to turn the site into a heavy industrial area. However, there's been a huge backlash by residents complaining the proposed plan will destroy a natural habitat. PBS Managing Director Michael Fairfax says the company's response will be issued tomorrow. Rainfall totals in the country are below average for this time of the year. There are already signs of dying weather in the country, with most rainfall stations recording extremely low average rainfall. Akosita Tale reports the Fiji Meteorology Office has not yet determined other factors that might lead to a drought. However, it is closely monitoring the El Nino phenomenon.
Last month's rainfall recorded below normal, and the Fiji Met Office says it's too early to predict a drought.
One, as I said, we're going to just continue to monitor. We can talk about weak to moderate, and it can become moderate to strong. But it's going to be determined when we come closer to the end of second quarter and come to the cyclone season, when it's going to dry up.
However, other factors like agricultural and hydrological droughts need to be looked into before a drought can be declared.
The vegetation is affected, the sugarcane, because of not enough moisture and the evaporation of the water from the surface. And we also have to look at the hydrological drought. It's the water table drying up or lesser water down there. When they all agree, then only then the nation can declare a real drought.
Twinraki adds Fijians should be aware of the changing weather patterns, but this doesn't pose any threat yet.
Our most dry, when it's going to really be dry and cold, will be June, July, August. And the contribution of that dryness and the El Nino setting heat, which is a lesser rainfall too because of that phenomena, that is where we are expecting this thing to really pick up.
If an El Nino does occur, it's most likely to hit Fiji and the South Pacific by the end of the second quarter this year. The Fiji Met Office is expected to inform the government later this week of the possibility of El Nino hitting Fiji and the chances of a drought later this year. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The Lands Ministry is revising its operational procedures. They want to ensure administration of Itauke land deposited in the land bank meets the spirit and expectations of the Land Use Decree. The decree ensures maximum return on Itauke land leased out for commercial development.
The Land Use Decree was drafted to cut out bureaucracy and ensure developments take place as quickly as possible.
Bureaucracy can be in terms of getting the required signatures, 60% from the landowners. I've mentioned that.
According to PS Lands, Devi Tambosiwanga, the decree stipulates Ministry of Lands officials are to physically obtain the consent of 60% of land-owning group who request to join the land bank. This land use decree also permits the evaluation and survey of Itauke land by the ministry free of charge.
The other bureaucracy that that normally emerge is the need to survey the land. And the third one, as you mentioned, going to court. It takes ages, it takes years. So instead of going to court, we will ensure that the process is very clear. They make the choice.
The Permanent Secretary adds the revision of the Ministry's standard operational procedures will ensure maximum benefits to the landowners.
So we have to make sure that our processes goes along with that objective of the decree.
Bosewanga has assured the Land Use Decree promotes goodwill and dialogue between parties involved in the leasing of Itauke land, emphasizing the need for regular consultations with the owners. Mikalonga, FBC News.
After the break, experts to train budding filmmakers.
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Ndo talita kana borong na Mbula FM number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat tu gerak-geraki au rebot juga ni stima. Untuk talita ka na parorongan ng bula.
Bola Fiji, Bola FM, number 2 Singatoka.
Bola bina era roga, Bola FM number 2 Tikonga.
Bola FM number 2 NSR.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. State lawyers asked for more time to make its submissions in the Priyadarshini trial, which has been adjourned by the Lautoka High Court for sentence hearing tomorrow. Darshini has been further remanded in custody. She pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. Darshini murdered 33-year-old Taofa Patolo and her 7-month-old baby Sarah Rosemary Patolo on December 18th last year. The 22-year-old also attacked Angelina Pisi Patolo, Grace Patolo and Anna Patolo, but the 3 survived the brutal attack. Darshini was in a de facto relationship with Taofa's husband Mokai Patolo. The case continues tomorrow. Trainers from the Southern Institute of Technology in New Zealand will soon be in Fiji to train our young filmmakers. Ellen Stalls has more.
Film Fiji plans to bring overseas cinematographers to train young aspiring filmmakers like these prior to the 2014 Kula Film Awards. Acting Chief Executive Florence Swami explains.
We're trying something different. Trainers will be coming out of New Zealand from the Southern Institute of Technology, and we're working on the details of the course content that is being worked on and will be finalized very shortly, as will the date of the training. Again, we hope to take the training around the country this year as well. So these trainers will be traveling to the north, they'll be traveling to the west, and here in Suva as well for the schools in the Navua to Tailevu corridor.
Training is part of the Film Fiji's plan to help students. These overseas professionals should boost the quality of films being produced for the awards.
As you know, each year with the schools that are participating, we provide free training, because for a lot of the participants, filmmaking is still relatively new for them. So every year since we've started, we provide training on filmmaking to all of the registered participants.
Swami says these trainers will be based in the capital and will visit schools in the north and west as well. Registration closes at the end of this month. Schools and filmmakers can find the details on the Film Fiji website. The Kula Film Awards will be held on the 25th and the 26th of July at the FMF National Gymnasium in Suva. The Kula Award-winning film will be screened at international film festivals and will give our local filmmakers world exposure. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
A sign language expert from Australia is in Suva to upgrade the skills of 30 local sign language interpreters. Savara Tamboa has more.
It's important for interpreters to understand the language they interpret, especially for those who are new to the job.
For the new people, it's about trying to, again, master the language and get very proficient and competent in using the language and understanding the language, so therefore they can go on to interpret. With the more experienced people, it's about further developing their skills, because they already have experience, but to also think about perhaps the next generation of interpreters coming through and how they can be part of a group of people that can be supporting the new people's ongoing development.
A regional interpreter was part of the workshop. She says she has to learn many new things and gain more knowledge on interpreting she can use when she goes back home.
This training is very giving me knowledge, more knowledge about deaf culture and interpreters' code of conduct. So I think if I go back, I can teach other interpreters that need more knowledge in interpreting.
Fiji Sign Language interpreters hope that sign language will be better recognized and used in Fiji.
In terms of standard of interpreting, the profession, the remuneration that comes with it, standard overseas, and sign language being recognized as a spoken language, it is a little different here in Fiji.
This training will upskill interpreters and will also create a well-informed community for the deaf. Sabaira Tamboa, FBC News.
Weather observers from 14 countries in the region have been reminded they are the building blocks of weather analysis and forecasting. A 2-week Australian-funded training program for weather observers began in Nadi today. The training focuses on weather observations and the calibration of meteorological equipment. Deputy Secretary for Transport and Energy Malakai Tandulala told the participants the training will greatly assist them in their work and at the same time assist in the collection of world meteorological data.
It is that kind of regional international networking of weather observation collections and continuous recording that helps weather experts in monitoring weather change phenomena on the global stage.
Jamie joins you now with another week of FPC Sports.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. In sports tonight, the Fiji Pearls are rearing to start its Tri-Series campaign, and young Meli Malani aims for a spot at the Commonwealth Games. This and more coming up.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Lotta kasi love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team has had to settle for third place at the Scotland tournament. After losing 19-14 to New Zealand in the semi-final, the Ben Ryan coach side beat the host Scotland 17-10 in the playoff match. New Zealand went on to win the tournament, beating surprise finalist Canada 54-7. Meanwhile, Fiji is now third on the series points table with 129 points behind New Zealand and South Africa. And for the London Sevens to be played this weekend, Fiji is pooled with Australia, Spain and Japan. The London tournament is the last for the current season. Netball fans, get ready to take centre court because it's game time for the Fiji Pearls. They're pumped up for their Digicel Tri-Series opener against Papua New Guinea in Suva. And as Elaine McDonald finds out, each team has its own secret weapon to reveal at the Vodafone Arena tomorrow night.
Confidence is in the air as the Fiji Pearls have tagged themselves as ruthless against a young but determined PNG outfit.
This year is a very important year for us, preparing for Pacific Series next month, and it's also a qualifying round for World Cup, so everyone is working really hard to try and earn a spot for World Cup.
Especially when you have the Pacific countries coming to each other, we don't give each other any chances to have the we got hard, and hard, I mean, you can see the way that's just the way we are. We don't give yet.
There's no doubt courtside battles will be just as feisty.
We're expecting them to come out with a really good team, and we've tried a few new things over the last few days, so we're just going to see if they work. If they don't, we've got plan B, so we're pretty excited about trying some new things.
We've got our game plan, which I'm not going to tell anybody, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Could that plan be Hornweg's protege and former Fiji coach Una Rokora at the helm for the visitors this year? Only time will tell what her input with the Pepes will do for the visitors against her home side. The netball action begins from 4 p.m. tomorrow, where the Fiji A side will face Tonga. At 6 p.m. it's the Fiji Pearls versus PNG in a Pacific Island clash that's sure to excite netball fans since the last Pacific Games in 2003. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Top local swimmer Meli Malani has his sights set on qualifying for the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. While the Mars Brothers High School student will be part of the national squad at the Oceania Championships in New Zealand later this month, the Commonwealth Games is his main goal this year. Talendau Dakadaka has more.
He spent his Christmas holidays in the United States training under former Olympian Dr. Gary Hall. Meli Malani bore the fruits of his hard labor when he collected a gold and silver medal at the Queensland Championships in Australia in February. Now he is training hard for a ticket to the Commonwealth Games in July.
To make it to the Commonwealth Games, there's no shortcuts to it though, but it's always hard work and hard training and trying to make the times to Commonwealth Games.
To earn a spot to the Commonwealth Games would be a pinnacle of his career.
The Commonwealth Games will be if I make the cut, I will be the biggest competition I'll be going to. But I treat every competition as a big one and do my best in all my events.
Malani is one of the country's young and bright prospects that have come through the age grade competition and are now branching out into the international arena. FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Under-19 football side has suffered the first loss of its current New Zealand tour. The side was thumped 5-0 by the New Zealand Under-20 team. The coaching staff has now gone back to the drawing board and is working overtime to rectify weaknesses before the next match tomorrow. Indra Singh reports.